Hey there folks, back with another knife review today, this time the Spyderco Sage 2. Now this is a video supplement to my written photo review that can be found on throughmylens.org. The full written photo review, there's a link to it in the description box. And my recommendation is if you haven't already read that, go ahead and read it. This is just a supplement to that written review. Most of the important data is going to be in the written photo review. This video is just a supplement to get some video footage of the knife. Kind of give you some of my thoughts on why I purchased this knife. A couple of factors. One, a big one being another YouTuber, EdgeWeapon88. I'll throw up a link to his review that he did recently of the Spyderco Sage 2. Fantastic review as always. EdgeWeapon 88 has been reviewing knives for a long time. He knows a heck of a lot more about sharps than I do. But he's certainly played a big factor. I had some interest in this knife before seeing his video because this segment of titanium handled frame locks made famous and kind of innovated by the famous Chris Reeve and the Spyderco knife. It's an interesting area for me. This is another frame lock that I own. This is the Bradley Alias 2 with the anodized blue titanium handles. I've owned a Chris Reeve Spyderco before, briefly. So I've got some experience in this segment, and I do like titanium handled frame locks like this Sage 2. A lot to like about this knife. Probably the biggest attractor for me for this knife is this blade. I noticed in EdgeWeapon 88's review how similar this blade is to the Manix 2 that I just got. And the shape is almost identical, and it's actually not that much smaller. The blade is 3 inches on this knife, but it's the Manix 2 is not that much bigger. If you compare the Alias 2, which is pretty identical to the Chris Reeve model, you can see that lengthwise it's a little bigger, but it's also got a lot more meat, more thickness there than this knife. And when I carry this knife, and I've carried this a lot, there's actually some scratches on the handle from where I've carried it, as is pretty common with a titanium handled frame lock knife. It's going to scratch up. Not much you can do about that. But when I carry this knife, it's strictly a utility tool. Open boxes, cut string. Really wouldn't consider, unless I had no other option, in using this knife in a tactical or self-defense kind of mode. This knife, however, you can get such a nice grip with that curved handle, and the blade, is just a little bit bigger, a little bit beefier. I would much rather have this knife if I had to defend myself than I would this or a small Spyderco, this Alias 2 or a small Spyderco. So that's one of the things that was kind of a pleasant surprise. I thought it was going to be a little smaller, and was pleasantly surprised by how large it is. For those of you that don't know, and I explained this in the written photo review, the whole Sage line by Spyderco is meant to be tribute knives to various knife makers. This one, obviously, a tribute to Chris Reeve and the integral frame lock knife that he innovated and popularized. As you can probably see on the back of the blade here, this knife is made in Taiwan. Again, if the blade on the Manix 2 is American made, I've compared them side by side, and I can't find any quality differences. I know not being a U.S. made product is going to bother a lot of people. I try to buy USA when I can, when it makes sense, but it doesn't bother me that this knife is made in Taiwan in the least. Very light, very easy to carry. Love the wire pocket clip. I've got a Spyderco Dragonfly that has this same style pocket clip. It works very well. It is removable. That's a nice feature. I never thought this Benchmade style pocket clip went real well with this particular knife. On a Sebenza, the pocket clip is more integrated and looks a little nicer. But functionally, this is a great pocket clip, and it is reversible. You can reverse it to the side, but you are kind of stuck in the tip up carry mode. You can't go tip down with this, which is fine with me. It deploys very quick, very fast. This Alias 2 is one of the smoothest deploying knives that I've ever had. Certainly a lot smoother than the Sebenza that I had, the small Sebenza. This Spyderco is kind of right in the middle of the two in terms of how easily it deploys. And I could probably make that a little looser, a little smoother with some adjustments to the pivot screw there. Haven't tried that, but I might, just to see if I can smooth it up a little bit. One of the things that's making me kind of return to Spyderco after having bought several Benchmades and a couple of SOGs is the fact that Spydercos come so wickedly sharp out of the box. They're just, I think, in terms of production knives, they're about the sharpest knives that you can buy out of the box. This particular knife wasn't as sharp as I've seen many Spydercos come, so that was a little bit of a letdown. Don't know if it was because it was from Taiwan, or perhaps just didn't come from the factory as sharp as maybe some of the other Sage 2s have. No big deal. Took me about 10 minutes on my Spyderco SharpMaker sharpening it, and I got this hair popping sharp. As a matter of fact, I used the other day I brought it to work with me, and I was just rubbing the blade down with a cleaning cloth, and actually just caught the edge of the cleaning cloth and cut right through it. It was just so sharp. I just love a Spyderco because of how sharp they are. Let me go ahead and get some close-up footage with my macro lens. Okay, got my macro lens on here to get some close-up shots of that S30V blade here. Look at that brushed finish. Same finish that's applied again to that Manix 2 blade, same leaf shape, and that is a gorgeous blade. It really is. Let you see the back of the blade. Again, the made in Taiwan markings there. But just a super high quality knife there. You can see the jimping that's on both sides of the blade. Just like the Manix 2. It allows you to choke up down there to do precision work, which I really like. Try to get so you can see between the frames, the titanium scales here. There's nothing in there to make it heavier. Very simple design. 3 standoffs between the blade handles, and a pocket clip. Very simple design, very strong design. Love those titanium handles. For the longest time, I didn't think I would like those basic gray titanium handles, because in pictures they just kind of look blah, but they're really growing on me. There's that nice pocket clip. And there's the release for the integral frame lock there. So there's just some close-up shots of the knife. Okay, so there's some video footage of this Spyderco Sage 2. I'm glad I was able to pick one up for a pretty bargain rate. It's not a sprint run like the Manix 2 that I picked up. It's what I'll call a regular production, but at any time Spyderco could stop production of it. So I would say if you have an interest, pick one up. I hope they don't. A knife this great should remain in their catalog forever and ever. but that doesn't seem to be how Spyderco does things. They're constantly changing things up and discontinuing knives, so you might want to think about getting this if you have an interest in it. I really like it. Very happy with the purchase. No complaints, really. As a matter of fact, I've liked this so much, particularly the size of it, and was really surprised by that, I've gone ahead and ordered a Sage 3, the blue bolt locking mechanism that it's going to look a lot like the famous Manix 2 Blue G10 Sprint Run model that I missed out on and have been wanting to pick up and been unwilling to pay speculator prices for. I'm going to get a Sage 3 that's got an S30V blade steel, a blade that's almost as long as a Manix 2, that gorgeous Blue G10 at a very reasonable price. So look for that to be the next knife review that I do. Hopefully I'll get that shipped to me in the next day or so. But in the meantime, I am definitely enjoying this knife, and definitely recommend you pick it up. And I'll also give you a link again to Edge Weapon 88's much more detailed video review, but also keep in mind the link to my photo review with a lot more detail and information in it can be found in the description box of this video. Until the next video, take care, God bless.